is Sam, the Frugal Hugel gardener. I'm out here in my yard this morning. Here's some banana beds and I'm in my driveway. And I want to go ahead, and you see the tractor there. I want to contour a long bed where I'm going to put fruit trees. And it's going to kind of go this way, that way, and along the fence. So we're in December. I want to go ahead and outline it, see if it looks good, till it under, and bring in good composted topsoil to put down so I can plant fruit trees in. This area gets a little wet, so I'm going to have to build it up about a foot or more. But for now, I want to contour it to see how it's going to look. And from now to spring, I could go over it a couple times with the tiller, make sure all those weeds are dead before I plant. So let's see what that looks like after I go ahead and outline it. Okay, so I went ahead and tilled the path. I'm going to show you what it looks like. Down below, if you could tell me what you think. I think it's a good plan. So anyway, this is the entrance of my driveway. Right here. And I got banana plants over here. So starting from here, will be a fruit tree. And it's going to curve around and go that way. And everything in here is going to be a little bit of an orchard eventually. But I want to start with the path out here. And I want to leave enough room from here on over for my tractor and truck and trailer and everything else to get around, supplies. I got some Florida soil there to put down. I got to get a couple more truckloads. So this is going to wrap around right over here and go down along the fence line so I can still drive to the left of it. And then right over here, in line with those fruit trees, are going to be one over there and another one right over here. I'm going to do a circle. This will be a circle right here, another one. And then, of course, there'll be a bunch of them going down that way. Okay, so anyways, a long time ago I had this in my head, but I wanted to start up there. And I wanted to start these coming down. That's a Florida Prince peach tree. It's doing great. Beyond that is a loquat tree. It's doing great, in full bloom right now. And beyond that is some bamboo. So I'm going to work down this way with some more fruit trees all the way down. And then wrap it around. And then the whole inside right over there are going to be positioned fruit trees. So anyway, I'm thinking ahead. I'm starting. Like I said, I got to bring composted soil, topsoil, everything else. Build this up about a foot. And that whole area is going to be built up too. That when it rains, it drains down into the ravine and goes down into the culvert. So anyway, let me know what you think about having a drive pathway. That way to the right of me is going to be a whole line of fruit trees that my truck, trailer, and tractor and everything else could get around. I think that's a good start. Instead of just putting everything in there and not having anything lined up, I'd rather have them lined up. And they're going to be spaced out right around 12 foot a piece. I'm going to go ahead and measure. My banana plants are 10 foot a piece. And that seems like it's good enough for the banana plants. But I want a bigger space in between the fruit trees. And once again, all my fruit trees, I top off. That way they don't get tall. I rather have them low and bushy so I can reach all my fruit. I don't want to have to get on a ladder, have all the good fruit on top and the bottom get shaded out. So I trim the center so everything's like an upside down umbrella. I top off the center once it's got a couple umbrellas, and I try to keep everything low. That's by design. A loquat tree could get up to like 20 foot tall, 15, 20 foot. I don't want it up that high. I want to keep it right around 10 feet, 12 feet tall, so I could get whatever I need off of it. Same thing with the peach tree and all that. Okay, so a little bonus footage. Right over here, I got my culvert. There's probably about a 2.5 foot slope down into it. And then right up over here, this is all really good composted chips. If you look, it's nice, good, rich soil. So along this whole row, I'm gonna mound it up a little bit more. And I'm gonna go ahead and put bamboo plants along that whole section. And then on this side of it, of the bamboo, spaced out nicely, it'll get good sun. I'm gonna go ahead and line it with fruit trees, like a whole row, another whole row, and another whole row. I don't know how many rows are gonna fit. And then we'll walk on the back side of the pond and check it out. Okay, so same thing over here. I got this whole row going all the way down. I'm gonna trim those hedges up more, and I'm thinking of putting one whole row of fruit trees going all the way down. There's the pond, and right over there I have bamboo. On the other side of the bamboo is my sugar cane, which is gonna wrap around, and then banana plants and so forth. So anyway, that's a plan. So when I'm starting out with the fruit trees, I'm just gonna get like 1 or 2 varieties of each, and then I'm gonna air propagate them, and then that's how I'm gonna go ahead and continue, so I can have multiple of the same variety, but yet still have a good amount of varieties of all the fruit that I like, and the fruit that's gonna have low chill hours, because I'm in Florida, zone 9A, about 100 to 200 chill hours, really nothing above that. And also fruit trees that can take the frost and the cold as well as the heat. So I am limited, but I learned my lesson years ago. I had 44 fruit trees. They're no longer with me. I also had a citrus grove, no longer with me. The citrus grove got hit by the frost 2 winters in a row, and I planted each time they died, so I put too much money into it, so no more citrus. And the 44 fruit trees I had, we had a lot of rain, and I noticed that area held water a little too long, and they got root rot. So now everything I do, I built up the whole area, so everything's going to be on raised beds or raised mounds. That way the root is above the water and the roots will go down in the water. So I got my work cut out for me. So this is December, like 3rd or 4th, the beginning of December. So I'm trying to prep. So about April or May, I could go ahead and start planting. And it's going to take a couple years to get all of this planted, but I'm going to start with the outline. Okay, so basically, around the property, I probably have enough room. I just showed you 2 areas. This is the first grove. That's the second grove. In the back, it's going to be a huge grove back there by my shed. And then throughout the property, in the front of the house, I'm going to put like one, I'll scatter some out. So not only will I have some orchards, but I'll also have fruit trees scattered around throughout the whole food forest. So anyway, that's the plan. Nothing happens in a day. Rome wasn't built in a day. You know that saying. So I got a lot of banana plants planted. And in the spring, I have more now in the house under LED lights and some in pots. I'm going to go ahead and rip out some clumps and replace them with some other varieties. I'm still going to keep some of the ones I have, but I have multiple clumps of the same variety, so I'm going to switch it out a little bit. So now I'm going to start working on some fruit trees. I think it's a good plan. Let me know what you think. Okay, so I put down 2 dump truck loads of compost. As you can see, I'm building it up. I also took that pile over there. And you can see now the mound is building. Now, when it rains and stuff, that's going to go down because it's fluffy right now from the tiller. So when it goes down, I got to keep putting more on there. But I think in the video, you'll be able to see how I'm building it up. And of course, I got to build up all the way down along the fence line. And starting from that fruit tree on out. But right over here, you can see that gully? I got to keep that gully so the water goes in here and drains out. So you got to start somewhere. And this right here is where I started. So I'm going to give you a little tour of my future updated plans. So let's continue with it. Okay, so I got my chicken coop and chicken run back there. I've got banana plants in front of it. Also got other edible plants like cranberry hibiscus in front of it. Plus I got Mexican sunflower and I got a lot of squash. And right over here is going to be a big metal building. Okay, so that's where I make my biochar, and that's a burn barrel. But this whole area here is going to be fruit trees. And then in front of these banana plants, I'm going to go ahead and rip out most of those clumps and put in individuals and have those grow up nicely. I think it's going to look better in the landscape. And then over here, I'll put like 2 fruit trees over there and another one in between these trees and those trees. This is still my driveway. And some more in front of the house. Now let's go down to that section. Okay, so that's where I cut down all the Mexican sunflower, and I got my comfrey in there and elfin ears and other shade plants. That's where I pot and I start, then I go somewhere else. But right over here along the pond edge on this side, I want to build it up just a little bit more and put some fruit trees right next to the pond on this side. Because on that side, and we're going to take a walk around, I got the sugarcane and bamboo plants. Okay, so I came in here and I tilled this all under. You can see how nice the soil looks. Well, along the edge of the covert, I'm going to mound it up. And then there's going to be all fruit trees in here, and each one's going to be mounded up. Even if it's just a round mound or a long mound, it's going to look good, but it's going to have some nice fruit on it. So let's go down and take a walk towards the back. Okay, so right in here, along the hedge line, and all the way down to the back, I'm going to put a row of fruit trees, and my tractor will be able to fit on both sides. There's the pond. I'm going to redo my clumping banana plants, and I'm going to put a couple individual ones there, and I would like to have a gazebo there if I could. So let's continue down this way. Eventually this pond is going to have a fountain in the middle, and it's going to be stocked. So in the spring, this here is sea breeze bamboo. It's for hedges, for privacy. I'm going to go ahead and separate all those when they're dormant in the winter and towards spring. And all those that you see are going to be spread out in different areas a few feet apart. So this is where I'm rooting them, letting them grow, and then I'm going to separate them to replant them on the property. I'm going to leave a few here, and by next year I'll be able to separate them again. You want to separate them in the winter when they're dormant. Right now they're still growing. Okay, so right over here is my sugar cane. There's a video down below where you just see me harvest some. They're really nice and soft and juicy. It's a good variety. I got the green, I got the purple, really nice. But I only have them up to here. And my plans is to go along this whole side. So I have a little bit more work to do. Okay, so right over here I have silver stripe. You see how straight and tall these are? They're gonna get to be about 1.5 to 2 inches round. And these are gonna be cut and utilized to support banana plants. But also in the spring, I'm gonna separate these and replant a couple clumps around the property so I have more of them. That way I will have more supports for the banana plants. Okay, so right up over here and going down that way, I have my banana plants. I'm gonna redo these as well. And then I have my shed, and all this is the Mexican sunflower that I cut down. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and dig up those clumps and I'm gonna replant them. And this is going to be nice low-lying plants. For looks, maybe a cranberry hibiscus or something like that. I just want this area here to look manicured. Now in the back of the shed over there is my supply area. There's about 2/3 of an acre. That's going to be all fruit trees. Right now I have a bunch of supplies on it. It's messy, weedy. I don't want to show it. So we're going to continue down that way. Okay, so this is a loquat tree. But if you notice, I have 4 different varieties around the property, plus peach trees. But right over here, you can see the tree has blossoms on them. And it looks to be growing fruit on them right now. So I cut down this Mexican sunflower. There's all the clumps there. I'm going to remove some of those clumps because it's too close to this building. And in between these 2 buildings, you can see a little bit of my mess. Right back there, that's for my ducks. I don't have them yet, but I'm going to get cackly ducks. They're going to be in that house, and they're going to come out and they'll go in the pond, so it's real close to the pond. Okay, so this area is the back of the house. I already have a really beautiful, really nice loquat tree here. But this whole area, I got to move the trailer. I put that there during the hurricane to protect everything I had on the porch. That's going to be moved. And this whole area right here, I'm going to have a couple fruit trees. It's going to be manicured. Then on the other side, I have my raised beds. Let's go check them out. Okay, so we're headed over there, but right over here, do you see this area? This area starts here and goes down 150 feet that way. And that's going to be a fruit tree grove. You can see I'm putting compost down, leveling off, and I'm prepping it. And that's going to be all fruit trees, that whole section. Okay, so right over here I have my raised beds. Right now there's cranberry hibiscus in there. I took cuttings and I stuck them in the ground. They rooted nicely. They all got blossoms on them now. I'm going to remove those in the spring, and I'm going to plant peppers in these beds. But I have 4 really nice raised beds. In that one there I have asparagus. This is going to be peppers. That's going to be peppers, and that's going to be peppers. A little bit of greens on the corner. Right now I have some squash growing out of them and stuff like that. And of course, my test banana plants. Now this whole row, you've seen that before. I got banana plants on both sides. I love this walkway. It goes down to my garden. Look for my garden videos below, my tours. They're beautiful. So, walking on this way, this is a really nice row of banana plants that's going to stay like that. Each one of these banana plants are on the edge of a bed of my Hugelkultur area. And this whole area is Hugelkultur. Right now there's weeds, but there's a lot of Seminole pumpkins growing, if you look around. So I can't get in here and cut because everywhere you look there's Seminole pumpkins on the ground. But when we have our first frost, all the Seminole pumpkin leaves are going to go to the ground. They're going to brown, and I'll be able to get in and pick up all the Seminole pumpkins. So this is a 100-foot area in here. And in the background over there, that's a 90-foot long garden. And a lot of beds, a lot of trellises, the overhanging ones, just look at my video below. And on the back side is my vine, melon, and watermelon area. It's an L shape, very long, holds a whole lot. Okay, let's continue. Before we continue, the Hugelkultur area has 80-foot long beds. And they started out being 5 foot tall, and they went down, and I piled them up. But I needed compost to plant more banana plants. So I came in here and I scooped up all the beds. So I have to go ahead and mound up all the beds again. But in the ground, if you looked at my videos, there's logs in the ground. I did the logs in the ground so they're level. And up above it for the beds, because I don't want the beds too high. I just want them up about 2 to 3 foot. Squared off a little bit. And they're going to be nicely compost. And the water in the logs is still going to wick up. I come out here when it's dry out in the summer and I squeeze and I can still feel the moisture. And right now you can see I got tomato plants. They're starting to blossom. They're all around throughout here. I did not plant those. Last year I planted them. All the tomatoes that fell, they're self-rooting. So I'm going to leave them here and enjoy my tomatoes. Okay, so right up in here is my whole garden area with the trellises for the tomato plants and the arch trellises to walk under. And right now you can see there's Seminole pumpkins grown all over, up the trellises, all over the path, the walkway and everything. Once again, I keep going in there, I keep harvesting them, and that's food for my chickens. As soon as we have a frost, a cold spell, they're going to die back. Then I'm going to start prepping my garden for spring. Okay, y'all know, all up above, all the way down the fence line, and all the way around my garden, I have muscadine grapevines. So this is my vineyard area. I got grapevines going down the center. These are my planters. They're overgrown right now. They'll look good in the spring. And that's where I grow peppers and other plants. And right over here is another cranberry hibiscus. And right down in the center is a loquat. I'm just going to let that grow out of it like it is. And this is the backside. That's where there's going to be fruit trees going all the way that way. And you can see how I put stuff around my chicken coop and run to give them shade, plus have edibles all the way around. So on this side here, I got fruit trees in between the banana plants, which gives the chicken coop shade. And then I have more loquat here. And then bamboo here, which is going to grow tall and put shade on the chicken coop. I'm going to grow another one on that side, which is going to give shade. So that whole chicken coop is going to be surrounded by overhanging banana plants and bamboo and fruit trees. You can hardly see the chicken coop back there, and that's the way I designed it. And I have a flagpole by the chicken coop, and then one in the front yard. And I also have a bat house. Let's go check it out. Okay, so right over here is my bat house that I made. I made that out of scrap wood. It's a rocket style, came out beautiful. I have a video on how to make it. I just got to edit it and post it. But it's on a concrete slab and a nice solid 3-inch round pipe. It's not going anywhere. So anyway, I like it. Hopefully in the spring I'll have some bats. In the summertime, spring and summer, and towards the fall, there was bats flying all over at nighttime. Now that the weather got cooler, those bats are hibernating somewhere. They'll come back out in the spring, and that's where they'll look for a new place to roost at. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed my little tour. There's a few areas like the front of my house and the side of the house that I did not show. It's overgrown right now. I have to get in there and weed eat and till it under. So in the spring when I'm working on it, I'll put it on video. And I'm going to plant some fruit trees around there. So basically, all of this acreage is going to be banana plants, garden, Hugelkultur, raised beds, fruit trees, and I have my pond. The pond's going to go ahead and have a fountain in the middle, and eventually it's going to be lined and have koi fish, or at least that's my plan. So a lot of work to do. As you can see, I got plenty of content for the next couple years that I need to do, because every year the garden comes around and the weeding comes around and the replanting comes around. But right now, besides my banana plants, which I still got to take care of and maintain, and in the spring I'm going to be planting some new ones and ripping out some of the old ones, but I'll still have those variety. I'm just going to make room for a couple more. So I think I'll have enough to keep everything interesting. I hope you think so. Okay, so hey, I hope you enjoyed my video and my bonus footage. I usually try to throw some in at the end of the video. If you did, give me a like. That helps out my channel. Subscribe so you can see all of this that's going to take place over the next couple years and you don't miss anything. There's bound to be something that you're going to like that you could utilize, because like I say, it is a working farm. I'm actually doing stuff here constantly. And then come on over to my Facebook page. Come on over to my Facebook group. The link is in the description below. Hope to see you there.